Today's episode of Chat and Chew is sponsored by Mainstream Plumbing and Associates.
Hello everyone, this is David Hedgepeth. I'm the owner of Mainstream Plumbing and Associates here in Raleigh, North Carolina. If you need any plumbing services, feel free to give us a call, 919-948-8114, also at 919-337-3102. We specialize in any plumbing services that you need, from commercial, residential, to services and all.
Please make sure you follow us on Facebook, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and of course, hit the bell to activate notifications that will remind you when we're on. Please be sure to leave us a comment to let us know how we're doing. We'd love to hear from you.
I want to invite you to our Father Forever Authentic Fatherhood Summit. This summit is for all fathers, new fathers, struggling fathers, our good fathers who want to be great fathers. We will take a deep dive into the purpose of fatherhood through our roundtable and panel discussion. We want to further empower you to be the best dad you can be. Also, if you know of a new father or a struggling father, invite them. If you know of a great father, invite them as well, so we can glean from their insight during our question and answer sessions. It's going to be a great summit as we share in the brotherhood of fathers. Can't wait to see you there. Greetings once again to Father Forever, our Chat and Chew weekly podcast. Welcome everybody. Please go to our Facebook page, like us on Facebook, as well as go to our YouTube page and hit that little bell, subscribe to us. Thank you again for watching, and we got a very, very exciting show today. I have one of my dear friends and also one of our clients that was with us in the beginning. So we're going to get right into the broadcast today and just put up a cup of coffee and have a donut, and let's chat and chew while we do this. All right, welcome, David Hedgepeth.
That's right. How you doing?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
See you.
Yes, good.
Always.
Thank you for I know you're a busy man, opportunity to come and sit down and talk with us and talk about Fathers Forever.
Yes, sir.
For our audience, this particular segment that we do is called What Are They Now? That's why we bring guys in like yourself.
Okay.
And we'll talk about your experience with Fathers Forever, what you're doing now, and how you got to Fathers Forever. We're going to talk about all of that.
All right.
And so let's get right to it. Tell us a little bit about you, Mr. David.
Well, my name is David Hedgepeth, and I have a plumbing company, my wife and I.
Okay.
And, we're Christians, we're God-fearing.
Okay.
Very family-oriented.
Gotcha.
And we just love life, and we love to serve.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah, so I remember, David, 2011, 2010, 2011.
2011.
We came acquainted. We got familiar with each other after one of a local judge that with the child support court. Apparently, you were having some issues with child support, and there was a judge in the Wake County Child Support Court that was working with fathers that was behind in child support. One of the remedies was to put them in jail, hold them in criminal contempt, and put them in jail if they was behind in the child support.
That's right.
Well, this particular judge had another alternative way of dealing with that, and that was ordering guys like yourself to a program.
That's right.
We had just got started then. Father Forever was just up, and I retired. I started Father Forever in 2008. It took us about 2.5 years to really get our bylaws and everything together. We met for a whole year at Golden Corral until I laid it all out. And as soon as we got our 501c status, I was introduced to this Wake County Child Support Court through another person.
Okay.
I kind of told them what we were doing. I was doing a presentation about Fathers Forever. The lady that was listening to it, she loved the idea, and she says, I got somebody that I want you to meet. And she introduced me to the lady in charge of child support, Wake County. And yeah, so after I met her, she introduced me to the judge.
Right.
And then we just started forming a relationship then, and we end up being in the child support court every Monday and Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, every week from probably 2011 when I met you until just before the pandemic hit.
Okay.
We was in a courtroom 3 times a week. And we would get guys who are, they were, whatever reason, not paying the child support, not being able to pay the child support. And one of the alternatives was, she said, I'm not going to put you in jail. I'm gonna suspend this 30-day sentence, but I'm going to order you to Fathers Forever.
Right.
And that's what she did. When you was coming to us, this was a 24-week class.
Right.
So yeah, now we kind of got came to. We went with some organizers and some people who would put curriculum together, and they told us our curriculum was way too long, and we kind of condensed it down, and so it went from 12 weeks, 24 weeks to 12 weeks.
Okay.
The 24 weeks had an hour, and whatever, and now the 12 weeks got an hour and 15 minutes.
Right.
And so we kind of could combine some classes together, and it's the same material, but it's done in 12 weeks.
Right.
So what made you, I know what made you do it, the judge made you do it. So that was 24 long weeks.
Long week, 2-hour class?
Yeah.
2-hour class.
So you had to come to us and sit, and what did you think about that when that first happened?
Well, when it first happened, I was like really, really highly, mad.
Yes.
That's the best way I can put it.
Yes.
I was mad. I was rebuttal. I didn't want to do it, didn't want to hear nothing about it, because at the time, even now, at the time, I always did for my kids. So I was like, why am I even on child support? But that's a whole nother story, right? So,
yeah.
Right, because, I always, help the mothers out, help them pay bills, and still got everything the kids need and all that. So I was always like, when they were telling me, well, we're going to put you on child support, I was like, well, you going to get more from me, not put me on, than you would, put me on.
Right.
So when I got on child support and then I was ordered to go to the class, I was like, man, this is a bunch of crap.
Yeah, you can't teach me nothing. Huh?
Right. So I'll just go in here, sit, and not say nothing. But when I would come to class and I would hear the things you was teaching, and I was still rebutting that, because I didn't want to hear. My whole mindset was, this is a joke.
Right.
Child support is a joke. This is a joke. All this is a joke. Because I was just mad, immature at the time.
Right.
Felt like, that I shouldn't even be in it.
Right.
So, yeah.
What happened? What changed it?
What changed it? Well, over time, finally, coming to, when you go somewhere for a long period of time, you start to taking in stuff. You start receiving stuff. But it was that one story you told about the lighthouse. When you told that story about the lighthouse, it not only opened my eyes up about parenthood and having a good relationship with, their mothers and stuff. It was just about life, period, about how you cannot manipulate stuff or you can't get over on things, stuff like that.
Yeah. So let me get an opportunity to tell that story. So I haven't told it in a while.
Okay.
So before I tell that story, I want to kind of piggyback on what you said.
Okay.
Most of the guys that come to us, well, probably 95% of them that come to us, they mad.
Oh yeah.
And they do just like this. They don't only want to, until there's one particular class, and sometimes it's different classes from different fathers that the light bulb come on.
Right.
And when it does, it's like, oh my God. And so that particular week, like we had 6 months. That was a long time. So I would tell this story. I'm trying to remember, but there was this guy in the ocean, and there was traveling, and he saw what he thought was another ship.
Right.
And they were going, they kind of slowed down a little bit, but the ship wasn't moving. And they kept getting closer to this, what they thought was a ship. And he would come back and forth. He said, this is Officer blah, 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 I'm going towards you. You need to move. The guy yelled back and said, we're not moving. We're not going anywhere.
Right.
And so then the guy got angry and he telling him again and said, yeah, you need to change direction. You need to change direction. And the guy yelled back and said, we're not moving.
Right.
And then went back 2 or 3 times and found the guy over there says, we're not moving. We're the lighthouse.
Ding,
Ding,
light bulb.
like, come on. But then, so the point was, the child support case is not going anywhere.
That's right.
And and the guys keep telling the child support people to move. They said, we're not moving. You either could conform to us, conform to what we're doing, or you're going to have a clash.
Right.
And that clash for you would have been in jail.
Exactly.
And so that's the light bulb that, and so those stories sometimes is what really get guys to understand what the purpose of child support. Now, most of the people, when we talk about this in the class, the word child support just doesn't mean money.
Right.
And in your case, you was already doing the thing. You wasn't an absent dad.
Right. Correct.
You was always there. And there's some guys that kind of get caught up in the same thing. They're not paying their child support. They're not timely paying their child support, but they're still ordered to come to the Father Forever class.
Right.
But in that space, what were some of the classes that really, really made you understand the concept of child support and your responsibility as a father?
Well, like I said, that one particular class right there. Then there was some other classes, when you were talking about having a good relationship with the other parent. That was very, very important, because at that time, I really didn't have a good relationship with the mothers, because I was mad about, being put on child support.
Yeah.
But still, I was still involved in the kids' life. I never got out of their life, just because of that. I know some guys do, they get mad and stuff like that. And there was another class you were talking about, just being a man. You were teaching us about being a man.
Right.
And being a man is to, I'll never forget what you said. You said to produce, to provide, and to protect.
Yeah.
That stuck with me a long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So we do, a lot of our classes we do, there's a lot of co-parenting element to this. Because a lot of times the conflict between the wife and the husband, they kind of put their kids in the middle of their fight. And I've seen it. If I've seen it at one time, I've seen it 1,000 times.
Right.
Where they get mad with each other and there's a conflict, there's a divorce, there's a separation, there's a hurt, whatever the situation may be, there's a breaking away. You're not together anymore. And you got these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In your case, you had about 6 kids.
Yeah.
So you got all these kids together, and you can't get along. And sometimes the parent uses the child to beat the other parent.
That's right.
And one of the stories that we tell a lot is, when I was growing up, my mom would send us. You're too young, I don't know if you know about that. My mom would send us to the ditch, to the woods, to get a switch.
Yeah.
And when you come in, it's me. And so 2 things I remember about that switch. You had to go pick one not too big and not too little. There was an art to getting the switch. You didn't get one too big because you wanted it to break.
Right.
You didn't get one too small because you didn't want it to break on the first lick.
Right.
There had to be at least 2 or 3.
Exactly.
And so there was an art to getting that switch. But 2 things I remember. Number one, the switch always hurt, and the switch always broke.
Right.
So the point is when one parent uses the child to beat the other parent, it's going to hurt the other parent.
That's right.
But it's the child who's going to break.
Right. Exactly. And
And that's what we're doing. And everybody's saying, I love my kids. Well, I ask them all the time, do you love your kids? Yes. Raise your hand. They raise up both hands and foot. They love their kids. But why you still put the kids in the middle of your fight? Why your kids now become the switch that you beat the other parent with?
Right.
And so that's what we try to get across to people on a regular basis. And again, sometimes that's when I call it an abracadabra moment. That's when the magic pops. That's when the veil just, it's like, wow. It's like, oh man, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And so what you experienced and what we wanted to do is to make sure the fathers, when they came to us, had that experience, had that genuine moment where they come from, from being angry.
Right.
And in that, what did you find in that group of guys that you was with? I mean, what kind of?
Well, we had a
lot.
right. Yeah. We had some characters, in a good way. In a good way. And just hearing everybody's different testimony.
Yes.
I could relate to each one in some shape, form, or fashion, in some aspect.
Right.
You know, and so I was able to not only relate, but I was able to look at myself, and those guys were telling their stories as well. You know, and so I would go back and I would think like, when I would leave the class, I would think like, well, man, how can I do better?
Yes.
Or what can I do so I won't go through that right there that I haven't been through? Or I've been through that as well, but how can I come around and conform to be better in that aspect of it?
Yeah, and that's what we found out about. We call it shared experience in a context where guys get together and share their stories.
Right.
Share their weaknesses. Be vulnerable and tell your stories. And sometimes I didn't have to correct the guys. You know, because you guys have been, our problem is fixed that some guys could be on your 6th class, other guys could be on the 12th class.
Right, yeah.
It's called a continuing curriculum. So you may be there 4 or 5 weeks before the new guy get there. But you were just like the new guy was your first day. You look angry, you mad. But now you've been there 5 or 6 weeks. This new guy comes and he's all angry and he's mad. But now I don't have to correct it because you're the one, because the other guys in the group.
That's right.
It's like, man, you get out the way. That's crazy. Yeah. Because you're speaking out of your anger. The new guy is, and that's that. I call it I call it ability, that shared experience. That now you realize I'm not the only one that's going through this. Right. I'm dealing with my ex-wife, my ex-girlfriend, just like you are. And how do I fix this? Because, you know, we also talk about the child support court. And the child support court is not designed to fix the problem between you and your ex-wife.
That's right.
It's not designed to fix it. It can't fix it, and it won't fix it.
Right.
You have to fix that.
You have to fix that.
So we do have a systemic problem, yes. We do have some issue with people in the child support court. I get that. But we also have some individual problem. And a lot of times we try to blame the individual problem on the child support system. Right. And that you can't do that because you got to be responsible for what you're doing. And part of the responsibility as a father and as a man is to step up to the plate and get past your anger with her, separate that, and be responsible as a man and pay your child support and do those things. And so...
And take accountability.
Yeah.
That's another thing I took from the class, taking accountability.
Right.
My actions, where I was wrong and where I was, coming up short at in the areas that I was coming up short.
Yes. So one of the classes that one of the classes we talk about is forgiveness. And in that class, we talk about being able to forgive the other person and the other person forgive you. And the guys sit back sometimes and say, I don't know why she's mad with me. I was like, dude, you do don't say that.
Exactly.
Yeah, she's mad with you.
That's right.
You didn't want to sleep with her girlfriend. That's why she's mad with you. Don't pretend like you're innocent.
That's right.
And all this, you're not. Take that responsibility. And if you got to call her and say, hey, what I did was grimy. The stuff that I did was jacked up. Right. I'm sorry. I apologize. Let's move forward. But at least acknowledge that you did something wrong. Now, don't keep living in that. You don't have to keep apologizing for something you did. You can apologize and move on. Right. And then at the same time is when you tell her you're going to do something, that's what you tell her you're going to, pay your child support. Do it. Don't, when you tell your kids you're going to pick them up at 10 o'clock in the afternoon, 10 o'clock in the morning, you pick them up. Don't, because the guys always say, she's filling my kids up with all kind of lies about me. And I said, make sure that what she's saying about you
ain't true.
That ain't true.
That's right.
Because for this, you don't have a leg to stand on. Now, she may be wrong for telling your child that, but you're just as wrong as she is because what she says is the truth. Right. So don't just get mad with her. Fix yourself. That's right. And so those are the conversation that we have on a regular basis with these guys as it relates to the co-parenting and being able to see. So we tell them there's 2 legs to an apology. One is confession that I did something wrong, right? And the other one is a promise that I'll never do it again. Exactly. So if I'm telling you I'm sorry, and I confess that I did something wrong, the promise that I will never do it again is the second leg. If I don't do that second leg, I'm a one-legged person walking around with one leg, and it's kind of hard to walk around with one leg. So just don't confess to something, and what people do all the time. I'm sorry, but 2 days later, they're doing the same thing. Right. That's not an apology. Keep that. I don't need that. That's just lip service.
That's right.
If you're gonna apologize to me, confess to me that you did something wrong, and promise that you'll never do it again.
And on the flip side of that, the child is seeing that.
They're seeing that.
And they're like, okay, well, if my dad is doing this with my mother,
Yes.
what's stopping my dad from doing it for me?
Yes.
And then you end up doing with the child, because I did.
Yes.
I fell short on that from time to time.
Right.
You know, I would tell my child, well, look, sweetheart, I'm going to be at the school event, you know, or I'm going to come to the graduation, or I'll be at your cheerleading practice, or whatever, you know. And I may think I had a legitimate excuse because
Right.
work, you know, I couldn't get off work or
Right.
whatever, you know, I would miss it. And then just to see the hurt and pain when I finally do either talk to them on the phone later that night or
Right.
see them the next day, it's like they lost just all trust.
Yes.
You know, they're hurt
Yes.
and everything.
And the mom is gonna reiterate that. To them.
Yeah, 200.
Now, she probably shouldn't do it, but she did. But what you did was just as wrong too.
Right.
And so now the child now is hearing it from both sides.
Mhm.
And oftentimes the kids blame themselves for mom and dad not the inability to get along. And they put themselves in the middle, and they go to bed, and they one of the stories we talk about is a fly on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about, the job with the fly on the wall is, I wish there was a fly on the wall when the boss told him off.
Right.
So fly on the wall syndrome is, you're not invited into that situation. That's not none of your business. And you don't supposed to be in that situation. Right. But you want to be there. I hear the conversation that's not designed for you to hear. So I flipped that.
Mm-hmm.
And the fly on the wall, if the kids now are invited into a conversation they don't supposed to hear. They're hearing mom
Right. Yeah.
talk about dad. They're hearing dad talk about mom. Mom is talking about dad and telling all the bad stuff that dad do. And the kid is in the back seat. You think he's playing his game, but he's listening to every word you say.
Mm-hmm.
What's even deeper than that now is the kids know who you talking to.
Right.
You're talking to grandma.
Mm-hmm.
So not now is my mama talking bad about my daddy. My granny is talking bad about my daddy. The same thing with the guys.
Right.
The guy say, she's a gold digger and all she wants is money. And your son is sitting in the back seat, or your daughter, and she's hearing all of that you're saying.
Right.
And they know who you're talking to. So now Uncle Bobo thinks the same thing about my mama.
That's right.
And
And they come back and tell you, well, my mama said this about
Yes.
you. Is that true?
Yeah.
And why did you do that? Why did you do this to my mother? Or
Yes.
whatever, or
Yes.
my father?
Yes.
I can remember a time when I was growing up. I grew up with my grandparents. So I remember a time when they would get to arguing, and I was the messenger. Well, you go tell him he ain't da-da-da-da-da. And, well, you go tell her she could da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
Yeah, so, and that just made me like, well, man, why am I, you caught in the middle, and it's like, I don't want to be telling, my grandmother, my grandfather, who's raised me, who I love.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That, how they feel about each other in a negative way. It never made me look at them like that.
Right.
But it hurt me in a sense, because I'm like, man, now I don't want to be telling them this.
Yeah. And the kids now is in this bad situation.
Right.
Where they think now, Well, another story we talk about is, one of my co-workers said her and her ex-husband had a gag order.
Mm-hmm.
They had an 8-year-old son. And the gag order was, if I said anything negative to my son about him, I could get sued. We wrote it on a piece of paper that if I say anything to my son negative about his father could sue me.
Right.
The same thing with the mom.
Mm-hmm.
If the mom said anything about the son, about the father in front of the son,
Right.
if the father found out, he could sue her. I said, how did that work out? She said, I didn't cuss him. I never cussed him out in front of my kid. She said, I cuss him out every day.
Right.
Right? I never did in front of my child. How would it be if every divorce couple signed that gag order? What would that do? What would that do to the kids?
Right. That would work wonders.
Because now you're not getting those negative things about the other parent from the other parent.
Right.
And those bad, and so we're on the way to school, the kids are on school, they're in the back seat, and we talk about the mom, she's talking about the dad, and then we tell the kid to go into the schoolhouse today and have a good day.
Right.
And they don't listen to all that garbage all the way to school, and you tell them to go have a good day. They're probably not going to have too good of a day.
Nah, because you done disrupted their spirit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, so let's shift a little bit. I know we got ran.
That was good.
We get the conversation there. I love this conversation. So tell us now, what are you doing now? What since you're the Father Forever, what are some of the things, and how does Father Forever prepare you for some of those things that you're doing now?
Well, what I'm doing now, I've further along carried my business to a higher place. You know, God, thank God for that. Couldn't done it without God. As far as Fathers Forever helping me do that, they just made me be more productive. Not only be more productive as a co-parent, but more productive as a man. And that it goes back to those 3 P's, produce, provide, protect. Produce, then productive.
I don't know if you remember this, but when I first met you, you was like, you were telling me about how good you were at plumbing. And I said, you should go back to school and get a certificate. And you was like, I don't want to go back to get no school because the more money I get, the more child support going to take.
Right, yeah.
And I said, David, that's about the craziest thing I ever heard. But you did go back to school.
Went back to school.
And got certified. And now, David has been, I'm telling you, y'all, this guy is a plumber. You done came in to fix our house from replacing a hot water heater to about 3 weeks ago, we had a major water leak at one of the houses, and David came over. I mean, it cost us, we're at $5,000. It probably been double that if I would went to another plumber. Well, it took you like 3 days at our house digging up pipes and replacing pipes and fixing this problem that they had our house,
sewer line.
the main sewer line. The root got it in, whatever.
Yeah.
But you and your son,
Oldest.
your oldest son now, just as tall as you is now, and you were training him, and he was over there helping you. And I watched you guys work and do that major cleanup. So I'm telling the audience, if you need a hot water heater to fix, that's your man. If you need a main water line, that's your man, and everything in between. But what I didn't know, David, is we had a gas leak at our house as well. I didn't know plumbers work with gas. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, because your water heaters are gas sometimes.
Yeah.
And so we have to run gas lines for the water heaters and stuff.
Wow, yeah. I didn't know that. So what are some of the things that you're doing out in your business?
We do it all. We do commercial. We do residential. We do commercial service. We do residential service. Service meaning we come fix leaks, install faucets, install toilets, water heaters, stuff like that. Broken pipes, fix that. We do camera inspections, like drain line inspections. Run the camera down there, look at your drain system, see if you have any roots or, any bellies in the line or anything.
And that's what y'all had to do to us.
Right, exactly. Yeah, we have to run the camera down. We do pipe locating. We have a locating, machine where we can locate where your water lines and your sewer lines are.
Wow.
We do drain cleaning. We do rough ends. We do trim outs. We do slab work. Slab work meaning like when a house is or a building is being built, we go do the underground. So we do the pipes in the ground. Because it's opposite from when a house is being built on the crawl space, then you just put your pipes up under the house.
Right.
But when it's on a concrete slab, that means we have to go put the pipes in the dirt, and then they come and pour the concrete on top of that.
Wow.
So yeah.
So that is
renovations, additions, stuff like that. We do inspections, like when people are going to buy a house or a property or something, we'll do a plumbing system inspection and all that. We work on septic tanks and well pumps and stuff like that.
Wow, that's not. Do y'all do that? So what time you was doing the warranty work for
home warranty?
That warranty.
Right. Yep, we do. Yeah, we're gonna get back in and doing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I had to call a couple of people because when I got a warranty for my house and something, the hot water heater messed up or whatever, and they eventually came and fixed it.
Right.
I had to call you to kind of get some advice.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what they was doing, but eventually the guy did come. They fixed it. It's working really good because our homeowner policy really took care of the plumbing.
Right. Yeah.
Well, David, I am so glad that we talk to you on a regular basis,
all the time.
And I'm really very proud of what you're doing and your accomplishments. And you got, how many kids you got now?
10 and all.
Kids, okay.
Yeah, 10 and all.
And 6 from your previous.
I have from my ex-wife.
Okay.
And then I have 2 on the outside of that. Then my wife and I, now we have 1, and she has 2 from her ex-husband.
Wow.
So that's total 10.
10, wow. How many live at, are y'all empty nesters yet?
Almost. We got 3 in the house.
Okay, wow.
3 in the house. Right.
And your son that was with us the other day,
He stays back and forth, from my house to his mother's house.
oh, okay,
He's 18.
at 18, wow.
Yeah.
Well, you're doing really well. You look good. You look popular.
Thank you.
I need the glory. Yeah. So, so tell us about how to contact you for information, our audience about how they can contact you, how they can reach you, and how they can contact you if they need some plumbing work.
Okay. Well, the company name is Mainstream Plumbing and Associates. The phone number is 919-948-8114. And you can contact the office number at 919-337-3102. Those are the two numbers that we can be contacted by. You can also text those numbers as well. You can do an email at mainstreamplumbingnc, like North Carolina, @gmail.com. Once again, that's mainstreamplumbing, one word, @gmail.com.
Yeah. So again, audience, really, if you know somebody with some plumbing needs, please call David and his company. He has been fixing our stuff over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
You don't put sinks in our buildings. You don't put water heaters and water toilets. You've done flower drainage. Yeah. And then when we had a gas leak, you come out and fix the gas leak, which I'm looking for. I'm trying to get this guy. He's been calling for. He was gonna call me because we had a gas leak at one of the new houses, and they hadn't tightened up the screw.
Right.
And the city came out and put a red tag on it. And told us we had to find out what it is before they come out and move it.
Right.
And I called this other guy. He kept saying he was going to come and he had to have. Anyway, I called you, and I don't know how I thought about you. I don't know what made me put those two together. And I called you, and I asked you about that. You said, yeah, I can fix that. You came out the next day and had the problem resolved because the city came out, looked at it, and took off the red tag, and we, we'd been held for about a week and a half.
Right.
I called you, and you were there the next day, and we got our permit to get our gas back on. This was in the middle of the winter. This was
right.
We just moved into the house. We had no heat, and you came in and you really rescued us. So I really, really thank you and appreciate you for being with Fathers Forever and being that plumber. And I can't shout this out enough. Please call him if you have anything you need to done in your house. You don't just do local stuff. You go
North Carolina.
All over North Carolina. Great, man. Appreciate it.
Well, I want to take time out to thank you for your passion for guys like us that's been in, Fathers Forever and that's in the system like that, because in the beginning, I was just like, well, this guy, he's just doing it for a check. Right. That's how I thank you. But then after you would explain stuff, and still I was like, oh, he just doing that. He just, he just telling lies. He don't want us to know he really. But
you know what? The fact is that I want to get the dime deal. We didn't get no money from Fathers Forever until about 3 or 5 years ago. Right. First 6, 7 years, we was broke.
Right.
We didn't get nothing. We got a little money. Here's a little money.
Yeah.
I didn't have no salary.
Right. Anyway, but it was your passion for us. And then I remember you telling us that you was a single.
Yeah.
And that really opened my eyes up because I was like, well, even though I'm not a single dad, but what if I hadn't become one? Would I be able to do that? Right. Be able to do that? Especially with, let's see, because back then when I was in the class, I think I had 1, 2, 3. I had 4 kids back then when I got into that, all by my ex-wife at the time. I had 4 kids then, and I was like, wow, I would have to take on 4 kids, all at the same time. So that really was, strong and a strong influence to me. You've been an awesome friend, an awesome mentor, a great, brother in Christ, and all to me, man. I just thank you for that.
Yes, sir.
But I thank you for the service you're doing to the community through Fathers Forever. Because, my business grew over time. I seen how Fathers Forever have just blossomed.
Yeah, but God's been good to us. We're born, and
amen.
I really love it. Yeah, man.
Amen. So I encourage everybody to come to Fathers Forever. Check the class out. Just don't, guys, don't wait till you get quarter pointed and go to Fathers Forever. Right. Go on your own. Like it's certain guys that put their own self on child support. Take up that same initiative and go to Fathers Forever. Come find out what they're about. Learn about them. Sit in a class or 2 or whatever. Come talk to Mr. Glenn and the staff, and be productive in your child's life. Not only your child's life, but your life as well.
Right.
Because it's all gonna come together, and it's awesome thing. I pray God just continue to bless you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Great.
Well, y'all, I hate to cut this off, but once again, our 𝗪𝗵𝗄 broadcast has come to an end. And once again, it was a great discussion.
That was awesome.
We love it doing this, and get opportunity to go to our Facebook page as well as go to our YouTube page again. Hit that little bell, subscribe to us, welcome your friends to come. We'll be airing Thursday nights at 8 p.m. You can go back and watch some of our other contents on our YouTube page. Well, so long, and till we meet again, everybody, take care.
Here's 3 ways you can support our Dads at a Distance initiative. Give a copy to a family member, our friend. Donate monthly, a book monthly, 5 books monthly, how many books you want to do monthly donation. Reverse book signing, your church, your business. You can make a donation go to our website at www.𝗧𝗵𝗲𝗿𝗲.com and go to our PayPal at Fathers Forever. Our Cash App is $Fathers Forever. Make your donation today. Please include in the note section, include DAAD. Again, include in the note section DAAD.
If you or someone you know would like to be a part of the show, please visit our website at www.𝗪𝗲𝗿𝗲forever.com or call us at 919-779-9905. The 𝗪𝗵𝗄 podcast streams Thursdays at 8 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook. To schedule a reverse book signing or to find out more information about how you can become a part of the programs you heard us mention today, please be sure to stop by our website as well.
Hello everyone, this is Glenn Warren, founder and executive director of Fathers Forever. I want to share an alarming reality with you. 627,000 fathers are incarcerated that have kids under 18. Now, there are 56,000 moms incarcerated who have kids under 18. The reality is there are so many more fathers incarcerated than moms. This is why I Am a Father Forever book exists. Now, I need your help. I am inviting you to help us get this book into as many fathers incarcerated as possible. Here's how it works. For your donation of $22, we will provide a book to an incarcerated father. Thank you in advance for helping Fathers Forever heal fathers and save families. I want to invite you to our Fathers Forever Authentic Fatherhood Summit. This summit is for all fathers, new fathers, struggling fathers, our good fathers who want to be great fathers. We will take a deep dive into the purpose of fatherhood through our roundtable and panel discussion. We want to further empower you to be the best dad you can be. Also, if you know of a new father, our struggling father, invite them. If you know of a great father, invite them as well, so we can glean from their insight during our question and answer sessions. It's going to be a great summit as we share in the brotherhood of fathers. Can't wait to see you there.